Welcome to the first ever Kieran Carlin FC video. I'm going to be on here, I'm going to be doing loads of football stuff. I'll do predictions, match reactions, anything you could possibly think of. I play a shit ton of five-a-side, so I'll probably record some of that, put it on here, and then you'll probably just roast me. Actually, you know what? I'm actually decent in goal, right? I'll back myself. In a five-a-side goal, I'm not a big man. I'm an average-sized man in all capacities, apart from my feet. All this good stuff is going to be coming this season, so join me and help me get to 1,000 subscribers. I would like another one of those plaques, please. Thank you. In 20th, I've put Fulham, obviously. I'm sorry, Fulham, but you've gone up and down for like the past 5 years in a row or something ridiculous like that. It's boring now. You know it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. You're finishing 20th. I don't care if you side Burned Leno. He might be all right, but Mitrovic still isn't going to score many in the Premier League. You're just too thin on the ground. We just all know it's going to happen. I do want you to stay up. That would be fun, but you won't. In 19th place, I've put Bournemouth. Now, initially, I had them a little bit higher. I thought, you know what? Usually 1 out of the 3 stay up, and I thought, I'll go for Bournemouth with a bit of, I like Scott Parker, a bit of a vibe, the streets meme. I actually hate that meme. I'm sick to death of it. Okay, it's not funny anymore. It was funny once. I've been reading up on them lately, and Scott Parker constantly keeps coming up being a bit like, I don't usually get a bit nervous, but I'm getting a bit shaky, I'm feeling a bit I just think any manager who started the season being like, this is going to be a struggle if we don't sign anyone, usually doesn't bode well. In 18th place, the final relegation spot, it's going to happen. It's finally going to happen. Everton Football Club are going to be relegated. I'm sorry, Mr. Lampard and Christine Blakely, but Frank Lampard's going to be out of a job by Christmas, I reckon. They signed James Tarkowski, they got Dwight McNeil, and who else did they get? Ruben Vinagre, or Vinegar. I quite like Vinegar, but I don't think he's going to be a game changer. I like it on my chips. I don't want him at fullback. Joking aside, all 3 are pretty good pickups, but I think losing someone as talismanic as Richarlison and having your only 2 central options as Calvert-Lewin, who I do rate and think is good, and Solomon Rondon, I don't think that's enough. I think they're going to be in serious trouble once again this season, and I'm sorry, Everton, but I think you'll finally get relegated. Now in 17th, I have Nottingham Forest. They've got a great manager in Steve Cooper. They have, however, signed about 12 players. I believe they lost a lot of players when they came up at the end of the season. I think a lot were on loan. Jed Spence has gone to Spurs, which is a big miss. But I have a feeling. I think it's very hard to predict. When you sign so many players, usually it's quite detrimental. But they literally had to sign so many players. They literally had a bare thin squad, so they didn't really have a choice. I think they signed quite good players, and they could easily finish between 12th and 15th. But I'm going to go for 17th. I think they have enough to just stay up. And I also think Everton will probably just be worse than them. Now in 16th, I've gone for Leeds United. I think they're going to struggle this year. Now, I am, just to be honest, I'm a little bit biased towards Leeds. My little brother and my stepbrothers and my stepdad support Leeds United, so I have a soft spot for Leeds United. But bias aside, I still do think they're going to finish 16th. I think in general, the business they've done this year is potentially pretty good. They signed a couple of players from the Red Bull teams because of the Jesse Marsh link, which I always think is quite a good strategy because Red Bull itself, as a business, are set up to hoover up young talent and sell them on for profit. So I think there's quite a high chance that those players will probably come good. They brought in 5 players and sold 2 for a combined amount of about 100 million. Good business all round. I think it'll still be a difficult season. The players got to bed in, but the squad is much bigger now than it was before. So hopefully any injuries won't be as detrimental to them as it was last year. However, I think Bamford will probably still struggle to play loads of games this season, and that's really going to hurt them once again. 15th, I've gone for Brentford. Now, they signed Benjamin Mee. Really good. Was it on a free? I think it might have been on a free. Wonderful signing. Now, apart from that, I can't really justify why I put Brentford 15th. They were horse shit without Eriksen last year. Oh my God, it sort of went over everyone's heads. They were in absolute freefall. They had lost or not won like 8 games or something until Eriksen turned up, and essentially, literally, you can look at the form before Eriksen and after Eriksen, and it's ridiculous. I think probably I've put them here because I just think other teams will struggle more than Brentford. I think Brentford will be okay, but not thrilling. Now 14th, I've gone for Southampton Football Club. Every year, they struggle. They flirt with relegation. Then they have a good period. and then it gets a bit wobbly again, and then it's all right. I think it'd be pretty similar to last year, to be honest. I think they've signed well. They've clearly now got a strategy of buying bigger clubs' youth prospects and doing like buyback clauses and loans and stuff like that. And because they've got City's head of recruitment now, they've hoovered up a bunch of promising young Man City players, and I think they'll do all right. They might be fun to watch at times, but eventually the youth players will fall off for the rest of the season because they're youth players and they can't carry the whole team, like Broja did last year. Looking now, they've finished 15th for the past years, so 14th place feels right. Wolverhampton Wanderers. You know what? I hate Wolves. They're boring. They always usually get some stupid result against us. I'm still annoyed about the Willy Bolly handball from a couple seasons ago. And the kit isn't gold. It's not orange. It looks like fresh cat poo. That's what it looks like. 13th. You're boring, but you're not awful. 12th, I've gone for Crystal Palace. They started well last season, then they fell off towards the end. I think they've still got a really good squad. I think Patrick Vieira is the right man. I think they're just in a transitional phase where I don't think they've invested very well this summer. I don't know who they've actually bought. Have they bought anyone? They've got Sam Johnston on a free and Chris Richards at centre-back. And also some bloke from Lens, who, quite frankly, I've never heard of, and you've probably never heard of either. From what I recall, they've had a bit of a struggle in pre-season with, with like injuries or so often. I think Patrick Vieira was complaining about that. So it sounds like they might have a tough start to the beginning of the year. But 12th is fine. I think 12th is probably quite a fun season for Palace. 11th place, I'm going for Brighton. If they keep Cucurella, I think they could be higher. They could be 9th or so. I don't think they'll keep Cucurella, which I think they'll lose quite a lot from him going. And if they do lose him, I don't know who they bring in as a replacement. Their peak, middle of the road Premier League team, but most of the time play quite entertaining football. So yeah, Brighton 11th. Come on, you seagulls. Ah! Is that a seagull noise? I think Brighton fans should say, come on, you seagulls, and follow it up with a seagull noise. Just my personal opinion. 10th spot. Aston Villa. Steven Gerrard, could be on the ropes this season. He's finally got everyone he wants. He's been back to the transfer market. He's got Diego Carlos, Kamara, and a permanent Coutinho. This team should be decent. Only, and this is a big caveat, only if Tyrone Mings is nowhere to be seen. He's had the captaincy stripped off him. He's not even vice-captain now. Diego Carlos, who's just turned up, is vice-captain. Tyrone Mings, and clearly Gerrard is aware of this, Tyrone Mings is the most championship-level defender I've ever seen. And that's a perfectly good level, mate. Alright? I don't want to be mean. This sounds kind of mean. And like, who am I to talk? But I'm going to talk anyway because that's sort of the point. Championship is a good level. And that's where you should probably stay, mate, because you keep making individual errors. And you've also stamped on like 2 people's heads in your career, which is really, that's not an accident at that point, okay? That's a trend. 9th, I'm going for Leicester. I actually think Leicester could be much worse than this, but they tend to do okay. So they bottle 4th every year. No chance of getting anywhere near 4th this year. This is going to be like a grey season. There's no joy. There's no colour. The captain, Kasper Schmeichel, has pissed off to the beach in Nice. And rightly so. He's been there for ages. He's done his time. I don't actually think Leicester have signed a single player. It looks like Newcastle are really trying to get Maddison, and if I had Maddison, I would go in a heartbeat. It looks like Chelsea are in for Fofana, and it looks like Ademola Lookman, who I'm pretty sure was quite good on loan last year, isn't staying. He's rumoured to be going to Atalanta. I think Danny Ward will be alright in goal, but it's just uninspiring. I don't know if they need to sell to buy, but it's not looking good. And even, what about Tielemans? Is he going, or has he got like a year on his contract and they're just going to keep him and leave him for free? Because that would be a waste. That would be a massive waste. I must have just filled them in here because everything I've just said there is incredibly negative. Maybe 14th, to be honest. 8th, we're going for the Toon Army. What is that accent? That wasn't Geordie. I'm sorry, Will. This is where we'll see how much talent Eddie Howe really has. They've bought incredibly well. They've got Sven Botman, they've got Matt Target on a permanent, but the biggest one for me is a signing of Nick Pope. I love goalkeepers. I'm a goalkeeper. I'm a big goalkeeper guy. Martin Dubravka is fine. All right, Carl Darlow is fine, but they're littered with individual errors. Nick Pope should get them like an extra 9 points this season just from being purely competent all round in goal. Quietly, I think he's going to be one of the best signings of the season. Newcastle should get in a proper number 9 though, because I just don't think Chris Wood is going to cut it this season. Number 7, West Ham. Now this one is more of just a feeling. They just seem to be there. I don't really quite understand why I put them there. I don't think Scamacca is going to get more than 7 goals. I really don't think he's going to break the stinky West Ham striker curse. David Moyes, he just seems to defy the odds. They signed a Guarda centre-back, but he's already had to have an operation. You know, sometimes there's a feeling, and I just feel they'll get 7th. Just on pure vibes. And sometimes vibes is the most important ingoing transfer that you can possibly make. I made that straight off the top of my head then. Fucking great. And now we have Manchester United. Oh, I don't even like saying the name, in 6th place. Everyone's excited. All the United fans are like, oh, we finally got a bold manager. We're in the money. No. Eriksen, great signing. Absolutely great signing. I didn't think he was actually going to go to United. I thought he'd go back to Tottenham. He did bits, absolute bits in that Brentford team, which means he's going to probably do bits in the United team. Ronaldo will probably stay. I can't see any suitors for Ronaldo between now and the end of the transfer window. So Ronaldo will probably stay and he'll put in his best. But I think they'll be decent. But they are just, in general, a toxic entity. An endlessly toxic entity. All the hope is built in pre-season. Oh, it's Martial season. Martial season is pre-season. That's the only season he has. The club is toxic from top to bottom, and I see no reason to think any other way. United have become what they once feared so much. Bang fucking average. We're up to 5th place, and you could infer from this decision who has made top 4. Chelsea are 5th. I think Sterling will have a good season. I think Sterling will probably be the best Chelsea player by far. But with Chelsea, I worry about the defence. Koulibaly is toilet. He's an absolute donkey. I've never seen that man have a single good game. Terrible. Half of Chelsea's defence are still about to go to Barcelona and get paid in handshakes. Todd Bowley's transfer strategy is to just read The Athletic. Also, defensively, Mendy is an absolute liability. I know they beat us in the Champions League with Mendy in goal, but at this point, he's a fraud, he's been found out, and he's just simply not good enough for what Chelsea want to achieve. 4th spot is going to Arsenal Football Club. They're going to be playing with the big boys again in 23-24 on Tuesday night. I think Fabio Vieira will probably be quite good. I think Zinchenko and Gabby Jesus, especially Gabby Jesus. Oh, yes, get him in. He's like the most selected player in FPL history. Gabby Jesus has scored a bunch in pre-season, and that doesn't necessarily matter, but it does show that he's a goal poacher and he fits into this team very well. I initially didn't think he was going to do amazing, but you know what? I reckon he's getting at least 15 to 18 goals in this Arsenal team this season. I think he's going to be sick. I think he's going to be the edge along with Zinchenko, just that raising quality to make sure they don't bottle top 4 again. In 3rd place, we have Tottenham Hotspur, Jed Spence, Perisic, Basuma, Richarlison. Kane is relatively committed and had no transfer saga this time. Conte is also committed and has no, or will he stay on this time? They're in a good spot. I think Conte has got all the players he's wanted, and Kane still exists and will bang from the off this time rather than meandering for a good couple months. Is this going to be the year where Tottenham get a trophy? No. I don't think they're going to win the league because Liverpool and City are still levels above. And I don't think they're going to win a cup because Conte doesn't win cups. He's won 1 cup competition ever. I think they might go quite far in the Champions League. I just have a feeling the way he plays might be suited quite well, and he'll take that way more seriously than the League Cup or the FA Cup, which quite frankly, I think they'll go out quarter-finals in both. And so for 2nd place, and thus revealing the winner, is Liverpool Football Club, which means Manchester City Football Club will be champions once again for the 3rd time in a row, which is will be like the 2nd time anyone has ever done that, because United won like 7 out of 9. So until we do that, I don't want anyone complaining that we just walk in the league and it's boring. However, there's a massive caveat. If Bernardo Silva, who Barcelona keep flirting with, if Bernardo Silva is sold and we get no left back, I think Liverpool win the league. If Bernardo leaves, we lose so much in that period where we have to go like 13 games unbeaten at the end of the season because Liverpool are trying to do the exact same thing and the levels are so high. Bernardo will run 15 kilometers a game every game for 14 games in a row. He's an absolute workhorse, and he can be that extra bit of quality and effort you need and that fans love between turning a draw into a win. If we lose him, we're buggered. But let me know if you agree or disagree with me. Put in your top 4 and your bottom 3 predictions in the comments down below. I'm looking forward to doing so much more football content this season. I'm very excited. There'll be very frequent uploads on the channel. I'll try and do some big videos as well. And let's get to 1,000 subscribers. I've been your boy Kieran, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.